Yo, RX back with another stream. This time it is Sunday night, which means we're going to go over some things and call it a weekend. We're going to talk about UFC 330 one more time. I'm going to talk about UFC Sacramento. I'm talk about Contender Series and go Milk Week winner because we didn't do it last night. Simple, not gonna waste much time. If I don't know what to say, so I'm not gonna go into a rant about shit. Just gonna say what I want to say. Get over here. If anyone watches or doesn't, I don't give a fuck, and I know no one's going to. So that's that, and let's talk about some shit real quick. We'll begin the topics tonight with UFC 330, the thoughts a day later, and the normal bullshit, the biggest talking points leaving the card. Again, my thoughts on the card haven't really changed. It was not great. If I had to grade this card, I'd give it like a D+. It wasn't the worst of the year, but it wasn't great. It happened. It's better than 326, but it's not very good at all. So, not really much that can be said there. That I've not already said. So, it was okay. Few good fights, but a lot of it was bad, especially those ending fights. Very Noche UFC vibes of Merab and Valentina just ending the card on a complete dud. And yeah, what can you really say there? So, what are the biggest talking points leaving the card? The main event, obviously, is always going to be one of them. Islam looked terrible. Delusional people say he looked good. And delusional people say Ian Gary won more than a round. So what does that tell you? The fight sucked. It was the worst title fight on the card. And let's just call a spade a spade. Islam looked washed. For the first time, he's just really looked like he lost a step here, and he was lucky he was fighting someone so shitty. So, should Islam have retired last night? I say yeah, because good luck making it past Morales and Prates looking like he did here. So, we'll see what happens. And, yeah, he looked bad. So, we'll see how he does against probably Carlos Prates next time out. Should be Mike Morales, but we know it's going to be Prates. And, yeah, it's almost a wash. It's not even like an opinion thing. Like, you can watch the fight for 25 minutes. Islam did not look good. There's no need to sugarcoat or lie about it. He did not look good. So, pretty simple there. This was his worst performance in a hot minute, and against someone this terrible. And I know people are like, what do you mean worst performance? Take away that head kick, which was fluky as shit. He did nothing. He won the fight clearly against whatever drugs people are on to say, Ian won the fight, Ian won the fourth. No, he didn't. This was the simplest 49-46 you'll ever see, and it was terrible. Islam has lost a step. Ian is just dog shit, and what more needs to be said here? So, Islam will fight probably Prates sometime in 2055. Should be Morales, but it won't be. And that's about that. Ian should. I would not be shocked at all if they fuck over Mike Morales and have him fight Ian Gary. They shouldn't, but they probably will. Realistically, Ian should fight JDM. I would actually pick Ian to win that fight pretty easily, but time will tell. And yeah, shitty fight as expected with Islam fights, because take away the first Volk fight and the Poirier fight, this dude's career has been shit fight after shit fight, either dominations or lackluster wins. Like, again, you can prove me wrong. Take away the Dustin fight, take away the first Volk fight. Islam's career is either a quick finish that is cool, whatever, a dominating decision, which is boring, or in lackluster. So, what's his third best career fight out after Dustin and Volk? I'm trying to think of it. Arman, probably the first Arman fight. So this dude's just not exciting. He's too like Khabib was never the most exciting, but fucking Christ, Islam makes him look like goddamn the most exciting fighter in the world. So Islam's just boring. What more needs to be said? And he looked washed last night. So see how he does against Protez and Morales. I'm saying he's not going to end his career with that one loss if he does fight those two next. So there you go. The co-main was the co-main. Dern dominated, the easiest 49-45 you'll ever see. Obviously, the talking point with this fight, well, actually, there's two. The main one being, God, do we need Wei Li Zhang back? Or Fatima Klein to get a title shot. One or the other need to throw Dern around like a fucking trash bag. And second, is Dean Thomas really wrong about what he said? I'm not really that upset at Dean Thomas for what he said. He's pretty right. Jillian looked pathetic out there, so if you were the coach, would you not pretty much think the same thing? So Jillian looked awful. She looked like she never threw a punch in her career. Dern dominated, and Dern is still a paper champion, or it's still the paper champion. And hopefully, for the love of fucking God, we see Wei Li come back or Fatima Klein get a title shot. I swear to God, if we get Dern Suarez, I'm going to jump out a fucking window. That fight will be so shitty, it's not even funny. So, God, don't give us that. Give us either Dern Wei Li or Dern Klein, one or the other. And yeah, Canada's never winning another belt at this point, and Dern is still a paper champion. Her ass looks great, though. Rest of the main card, Turner beat up a can. Don't care. He's a weak-minded bitch. He's terrible. Stoltzfus probably the only one. Stoltzfus, great win. I fucking told y'all Mansoor could lose. He's terrible. Esteban beat Edson into retirement. Shocker. So, not really any talking points here. Like, good one for Stoltzfus, but are people really going out their way to talk about Dustin Stoltzfus? Rebovics and Edson, yeah, great career for Edson. Enjoy retirement. Still, in my opinion, maybe the best fighter to never fight for the belt. If you want to give another debate in there, I'll listen, but Edson probably takes the cake in that regard. Prelims sucked. Whatever. Cool knockout. Robbery. Don't think anyone's talking about anything here. Maybe that Joel Alvarez is super fucking washed. And Tresean Gore got his teeth knocked out, so, that's good at least. And the prelims, Fernando looked great. Neil Magny is Neil Magny, and Jeremiah, amazing win. So, biggest talking points from the prelim. No one really talks about Neil Magny. Fernando, not really. Yeah, not much talked about from the prelims. Again, unless you really want to talk about how washed Joel Alvarez is. Pretty lackluster prelims. Early previews were good. These prelims are shit. Main card was decent until we got to title time. Like I said, just not a great card. Not a lot of talking points after the card. And yeah, D+, 4.6 out of 10. Again, better than UFC 326, the Max and Charles card, but it wasn't great. Again, one of the main talking points are, God, Islam looked terrible, and the title fights were trash. What do you really expect? No one really had much to say about the other fights, because most of them sucked. A few of them were decent, and that's just kind of that with this card, so not really much more you can say. And yeah, we move on to the future of pay-per-views. UFC 331 is a fight night. 332 ain't announced yet, but I'm gonna say It's going to be Aspinall and Shevchenko. I would not be shocked at all if X. I don't know what else it could be. 333 is Volk and Piotr not fighting each other, but that'd be a great fight. So 333 is pretty decent. We'll talk about that on Tuesday. And yeah, not a great pay-per-view here. I think this will probably go down as the second worst pay-per-view of the year. 331 will probably be better by a hair, even though it is just a glorified fight night, but see what happens. That's about all that Philly gets here. D+ card. Title fight sucked. Again, early prelims were good. Prelims mainly sucked. Main card was okay to the title fights. That sounds like a D+, so not very much else to say there. And we move on. So to look at the goat milk winner, because obviously we didn't do the after party last night. Bev's bets won goat milk. Good for him. 9 wins. Gets you a goat milk win this week. Yeah, I did terrible, so not very much to say here. Chrome finished 11th. Good for him. Yeah, good for Bev's bets winning goat milk here. Congrats. And yeah, that's about that. So we move on from UFC 330 and look to the first fight we'll have this week. That is the Contender Series on Tuesday, which can't wait for. Like always, the thing I'm most hyped for every fucking week. And we'll see what happens. To take a quick look at the card, not going to break it down or anything, just quick thoughts on the fights. Definitely not looking forward to this week as much as usual, because there are a lot of returning fighters that really shouldn't be getting second opportunities. 5, in fact. But returning fighters have Ken Vallejos for the returning fighter, so see what happens. As we'll begin week 2 in 48 hours, a little under 48 hours, with Tanner Tremblay versus Roman Puga. Don't know shit about either. 7-0, 5-1 featherweights. Hopefully one of them's good. Not much to say there. Then we have a double return fight between Muhammad Ali versus Alec Lorenz. Ali back after Ivo Bornevsky killed him in 30 seconds last year. Lorenz back after Abdulrakam Yakyayev killed him a year ago on Contender Series. So I guess if you want to give them the look at who they fought pass, cool, but still pretty weak. And Ali is the only guy I'm a little okay with getting a second opportunity here. He'll probably win this, and see what happens. Again, 2 guys who got knocked out, and I think in a combined, 50 seconds last season. That's just not really a fight that piques my intrigue or deserves a second opportunity, but maybe they make the most of it. Then we have in the third fight, Logan Paxton versus Christian Perez. Christian Perez was talked about a lot a week or so ago when Manuel Sosa fought, because that was Perez's Contender Series fighter a year ago. I was not impressed with him. He choked that fight against Sosa, and now he gets a second opportunity here. Paxton 10-1, see what he can do. Not much to say there. The co-main, we have at middleweight Douglas Rodriguez. So Larion Douglas and Gregory Rodriguez had a kid. Versus Trent Miller. Miller back after Ryan Gondra knocked him out last year. I think that's who he fought, if I'm correct. Another guy who got KO'd quickly. Why is he getting another opportunity? Douglas Rodriguez, 6-1. See what happens. Not much to say there. And the main event, actually the fighter I'm most intrigued to see here, Namo Fazil versus Kaique Brito. Namo was on the Netflix card, so going from that to Contender Series, and you'll actually get Contender Series will get more watched than that shitty card. Against Kaique Brito, who did lose to Oban Elliott 2 years ago, I believe, on Contender Series, so he gets another opportunity here. Probably gonna get his ass beat even worse. And see what happens. So, pretty simple week 2. Again, not looking forward to it the most for some of these fights. Again, I don't really care for returning fighters, especially when they don't deserve it. Again, Ali, fine. Why are these 4 back? And one's gonna lose for sure. Probably 2 might lose because this guy's fucking awful. We'll see. And then a normal fight. So I'm intrigued in Namo. Don't really care to see any of these guys back outside of Ali. Don't know who Douglas, Logan, or these 2 are, but you never know. It's Contender Series. Gonna love it and watch it either way. And I just can't wait for week 3 with Bellamir. So that's what I'm looking forward to and really excited for. And see what happens. So not really much else to say. Excited for Contender Series on Tuesday and the Ultimate Fighter, even though we already know the winner of the fight between Tina and Delphine, but at least we finally get that out the way. And who does not love some fights on Tuesday? So that's about that. And speaking of fights in the coming week, we have the last thing we'll talk about here tonight. That is UFC Sacramento this Saturday night. I guess it's Saturday night, or those fits, 8/22. The date after we head to Sacramento for the first time in a long time. I think since Aspen Ladd and GDR, which I remember that card, Faber's big return. This card, probably a little bit, main event wise better, maybe a little weaker in the undercard, but we'll see what Sacramento gets here. We're gonna look at the fights, a little overview of the card before we get into the week. Not gonna break any fights down or whatever, but just a little overview and see what happens. So see what we're dealing with for the next week. This card is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Very Apex feely, but it's not terrible. And see what Sacramento has. Not as many Team Alpha male guys as you would expect. Like you would think, I get no Cody Garbrandt because he just fought, but I would expect a good amount of Team Alpha male guys on this card, but I guess they couldn't really get any. So still, let's look at what we got on this card. Beginning with Chanel Dyer versus Elise Reed. It's one of the weakest fights on the card, so no real issue with it opening. I still think Chanel Dyer's dog shit. Elise Reed back for the first time in over a year. Could have went without seeing her for a bit longer, but they need someone to lose to Dyer, and pretty whatever opener. So go for Vanna Oliveira and Elise Reed. Hell of a fucking first 2 fights for Chanel Dyer. Then we have one of the worst fights of the year when it comes to talent or just anything. Why am I gonna watch this fight? We have Jackson McVeigh versus Wes Schultz. Garbage. Legitimately a PFL prelim, and I don't even think it would probably be the second fight on PFL as well. McVeigh's tall and terrible. Wes Schultz is shorter and terrible. Why have cans fight? This is someone said this on Twitter, I saw, and I agree with it. Why have cans fight? Have them get fed to. If you're just talking about middleweight, feed Jackson McVeigh to Susar Kaya, feed Wes Schultz to fucking Montez Travisic or someone off Contender Series. No one wants to see cans fight. I don't fucking get their love for that, and this is a waste of time because these 2 are fucking garbage. So yeah, I don't care to see cans fight, and it does nothing for nobody. It's garbage. Then we have a fight that changed on short notice. It was meant to be Cody Steele, and now we have Gao Jiang versus Stan Dorsainville. I think that's how you would say that. This was meant to be Cody Steele beating Gao Jiang. Now we'll see what happens here. Gao Jiang, I'm not high on at all. I think he's terrible. Stan, I'll just call him Stan for right now. 5-0, short notice. The odds are pretty close, more close than I thought they would have been. Maybe this kid's good. We've seen these kids stepping on short notes before and do their thing, so might happen here. Who knows? And good luck to him. What more can you really say there? Think I get to a closer fight than expected, and maybe the UFC found a gem on short notice. Then we have a live slaughter on television. Didn't know you can air that, but UFC is going to. Have we have our fourth fight? Marcio Barboza versus Ryan Kuzi. Yeah, they're trying to get this Kuzi guy murdered, and they succeeded, feeding him to Marcio Barboza. This is we want a quick highlight fight. We want a highlight from this card, whatever term you want to use. Great to see Marcio Barboza back. I feel for this Kuzi kid. Simple. Then we have a pretty decent fight in our fifth fight of the night at lightweight. Could be on the main card, but I'm okay with it here. We have Nasrat Haqparaz versus Chris Padilla. Good fight. Nasrat's always been a very decent fighter in the division. Padilla is trying to join that upper echelon of the unranked. Pretty good fight. We're going to find out how legit Padilla is, how Nasrat does after that Salco knockout, because goddamn. And, yeah, pretty good fight. What more can you really say there? Then we have a complete coin flip at heavyweight, just terrible fighters fighting. That's the heavyweight motto, it would seem. We have Shamil Gaziev versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. Flip a coin and goddamn pray. Nzechukwu is Nzechukwu. Shamil Gaziev is the GOAT and the blob, but who fucking knows here, truly? Your guess is as good as mine with low-level heavyweight. And then we finish off the prelims with a fight that should be on the main card, but whatever. We have Jamal Emmers versus Larion Douglas. The exact same thing as the Marcio Barboza fight. They want to highlight, they're going to get one. Larion Douglas is going to put Jamal Emmers into the mat. And, yeah, having Larion Douglas and Marcio Barboza on the same card is awesome. They're both going to give amazing highlights. Two of the best prospects in that division. That's loaded with prospects right now. And, yeah, great to see Larion Douglas back and going to get a great highlight from him. So, simple. Simple to end the prelims. They're not bad. Nasrat, Barboza, Douglas, good shit there. Dyer and McVeigh, garbage. Young, not thrilled about. Gaziev, that's okay. So, not very much to say there. Then we hit the main card, beginning with, speaking of the Contender Series, we already have the debut of Anthony Wint fighting Terrence Chapman. Yeah, I really wonder who wins this fight. Real debate. Yeah, obviously Wint's gonna win. Good to see him back already. Just got his contract. He wanted to fight. He got to fight. This kid might be something, man. This kid might really be something. Then we have in our second fight, the main card, a fight that I would not have on the main card over Larion Douglas or Marcio Barboza. And that's come from me. I am the WMA defender, but this should not be on the main card over a few fights. Even though I do like the fight. We have Carly Judice versus Jesla Chavez. It's a good fight. Has a very high possibility of being a really good fight, but this is on the main card over Larion Douglas, over Marcio Barboza, Nasrat Padilla. It's a good fight, but really? I don't know. It's not bad. Again, Judice is good. I would like to see Judice fight for ranking already, but this is better than nothing. Chavez had a banger on Contender Series. It would probably be a good fight, but main card over a few fights on the prelims? I don't know about that one. I really don't. And again, that's coming from me of all people, so think about that. Then we have our third fight of the main card. Another fight that'll probably be very good. Marquel Medeiros versus Mason Jones. Well, I don't like Mason Jones, but the kid's gonna be in a great fight. Yeah, not really a debate who wins this fight, but I'll save that for Tuesday. Medeiros is not good. He lost to Taco Padilla last time, and don't think he's gonna win here. Mason Jones, I'm still not high on. I think when he does fight higher competition, he will get exposed again, but he ain't fighting higher competition here, so should be a banger. If anything, he's gonna win fight of the night. This has probably the highest chance to win it, and yeah, see what happens. So simple. Then we have in our featured fight, the main card got moved down from the co-main. Thank God for that. As we have in our featured fight, the main card that should be on the prelims, if we're being honest. Renier the Quitter versus Roman Dolidze. Another fight like Judice where I don't get why it's on the main card. This should be on the prelims of the fucking Apex. The Ritter is garbage. The Lidze is garbage. I don't care. They're moving up. They should be on the prelims. Simple. Then we have the co-main event of the evening. In heavyweights top 15. No, this is not a co-main level fight, but I guess you gotta go with something. So I get it, but it's a better co-main than Renier the Ritter. We have in our co-main Sergey Spivak versus Vitor Petrino. At least they're ranked. Yeah, this fight's not good. Spivak, it's Spivak. I've always thought he's garbage. Petrino is better at heavyweight, but I still don't think he's anything special outside of just being a bodybuilder. It's a fight. It's not a co-main level fight, but and not much to say there. And then the main event, which is very good, even though I thought they would save this for Noche, but I'm happy to see this fight here, as we have in the main event of the evening at middleweight. Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodriguez. Great fight. Fluffy back. RoboCop's always great to see. This is a really good main event. I'll give my pick away for the main event. I always do on Sunday. Yeah, obviously RoboCop's gonna win. Fluffy had his run. Time is up on that. It's time for RoboCop to take over. Is he really a top 5 level guy? Not really, but he should win this fight. Again, Fluffy already had his run, and it ended with him getting embarrassed by Strickland, and I feel like this fight ends a lot like the Strickland and Hernandez fight did. So obviously this fight ain't going the full 25, and I don't know if it's gonna go full 10. So not really much else to say there. RoboCop gets the win, and very good main event. What more really needs to be said there? So there you go. And that is that for a little overview of Sacramento. Again, it's okay if they get Renier and Judice off the main card for Douglas and Barboza. That would make it better. Spivak co-main is garbage, but what can you do? It's okay. It's not. There's some things I'm very much looking forward to. Again, Barboza, Douglas, Padilla, Nazareth, Anthony Wynn's debut. Nathan Jones is always fun. The main event, Judice is always fun. But it's right. It's right on the verge of being an Apex card, but it has that little boost for it to be to not be in the Apex. So it's not bad. I think it'll be a perfectly fine card. And again, first time in Sacramento in a long time, since I think 2019. Should be fun. Should be a good crowd. Again, no Team Alpha Male guys. I don't believe, unless someone here is going to Team Alpha Male and I don't know it. I definitely would expect. I would expect a lot more Team Alpha Male fighters, but what can you do? And that's about that. So not really much more to say here. And yeah, we'll talk about this card for the next week. UFC Sacramento should be fun, and well, should be okay. I won't say fun. Should be okay. Light the beam in Sacktown, and that's about that. So, not much else to say there. And just like that, we hit our main talking points. Only half an hour. Love to see it. Not gonna waste any more time. Talked about 3:30 one last time. Contender Series, Sacramento, Go Milk. That's that. NFL preseason. Um, I'll say there was no football today. They should have had games today, but what can you do? See what happens in week 2 of that. And yeah, besides that, don't think anything else is going on in sports that I know about or I can think of off the top of my head. So I believe the only thing left to say, because I'm not wasting any more time here, is, as always, well, no one was here to enjoy the stream, so I can throw that out the window. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, RX out. Good vibes. Only and always.